Hello, this is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata, India. Namaste. Hello, this is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata, India. Namaste. Today is my first session with you. For 16 days, we are going to be making recipes in one pot. Today is veg biryani, and it's a very popular dish in India. People swear by it, and today we are going to get started. It's a very easy recipe, very fragrant. We make it with basmati rice and a lot of veggies. I'm making a vegetarian version, and if you want, you can put in meat as well. I'll tell you when and at which stage to put the meat in when you're making the biryani. Okay, so if in case you want to make a non-vegetarian biryani, you can use sliced chicken or very small diced chicken, or whichever meat that you prefer. Make sure it's diced small so that we can cook it in one pot. Okay, so let's get started. Turn the gas on. This is my one pot. Yeah, so we start the gas. Let it not heat up too much. Okay, so the first things first, this is the spice mix that we use to make the biryani masala, which is the most important ingredient. You can buy it from the store, but this is much more fragrant. If you make it, and you can make a big batch and keep it at home, it doesn't go bad at all for years on end, mind you. So what we use is whole peppercorns, we use cloves, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, cinnamon and mace. In Hindi we call it long or gol mirch, dhania, jeera, dalchini or javitri. And along with that we also use cardamom. What I do is you have to use whole cardamom, but I'm going to use the powder one because I make a big batch of powder cardamom and keep, because I love to use it in my tea. Yeah, every morning. So I have that, so I'll use that. You can use the whole cardamom. So what we do is first put all the masalas in a dry pan like so, and start roasting it. You don't want the pan very hot, and you want to constantly keep stirring it. We don't want it to get charred or blackened or anything like that. We just want it slightly aromatic. Keep the flame on low, not to get the pan too hot. The spices might burn, and once the spices start burning, what happens, it becomes bitter. You don't want that. You want it nice and aromatic. So we start roasting this, and patience, it's a virtue, believe me. Though I run out of it quite a lot. But when you're cooking, give it love, as I say, and it will make you happy when you eat it. Yeah? So there, we are roasting the spices, and you'll start getting that beautiful heady whiff of all the spices. It's a beautiful, beautiful smell. It will fill your entire house, and it's really nice. So, see, can you see? It's starting to kind of brown up a little bit. There, if I can show you, see, it's browning up a little bit. Keep stirring constantly. It's done. We keep it aside to cool for a bit, and then we grind it to a powder form. And once the powder is done, this is what it looks like. I make a big batch and keep it at home. You can use it in your rice. You can use it if you're making an apple pie, people who are fond of baking, please, and just instead of just pure cinnamon, just use a pinch of this and you see the difference. It's amazing. It's very fragrant, this spice. And I had made this 6 months back, and as you can see, nothing's gone wrong with it, and this will go on for years. So that's that. Now we put in some oil and start cooking. Sorry, since I'm alone at home, just a heads up, I might be in and out of frame sometimes. Please bear with me, yeah. I'm alone, and as all of us are, and let's make the best out of this, yeah. So now this is a can which you see in a lot of Indian households. This is a can of 1 liter can of oil, and what I do is normally I fill it up at the beginning of a month, and I try and keep a check on the oil consumption of my family. So I try and use only this 1 liter every month I do waver sometimes if I'm deep frying something, which I really avoid. But mostly I make do with this 1 liter in a month. Okay, so 2 spoons of oil goes in. You don't need too much. And since the pan is already slightly hot, you just twirl that around. You don't want it piping hot, because the first things first, what we do is we start with the sliced onions. Now when I told you sliced onions, what you do have to keep in mind with the onions is that it has to be evenly sliced. It cannot be thick or thin, and some thick, some thin, because then it will cook unevenly. So what you have to do is just dump this in and we start frying it. Now we have to lightly fry this, and we have to make it just about transparent. I'll just show you. It's happening slowly but surely. It does take a bit of time. Turn the heat up to a medium high now, so that done. So we start frying the onions. Cook along with me, yeah? And these are basic ingredients. I'm sure everybody has them. And today, of course, is the first session. So if you all are not ready with your ingredients, the recipe is down below. So you all can, and I will update you about what I'm making tomorrow. So you can keep your ingredients ready. And please cook along with me, so that I can get a feedback whether the recipes are working for you or not. I'm sure it will. They are 100% easy and doable recipes. Anybody, a person who is a novice, staying alone, stuck, doesn't know how to cook, has not cooked before, can make these recipes and you'll love it. Very easy to make, light on the tummy, very easy to eat, and you'll want to make it again and again. Okay, so now as you can see, the onions are almost there. They've become nice and transparent and fried. We don't want it all brown. Just want it slightly done. And now what you have to do is turn the gas on low again. Try and squeeze out as much of the oil as you can out of the onions, because we are going to use this onion to garnish the biryani, and we are going to try and use this oil to cook the rest of the biryani. So normally biryanis can be really heavy. The store-bought ones, which you get in India, and I'm sure you get everywhere around the world, they are heavy because they are made with a lot of oil. We are trying to do a healthy and tasty version here. So that's that. The onions are out. So now if you see that there is hardly any oil left, if you want, you can just put a dash bit more, which I'm going to do. Not even like a quarter teaspoon, so just a little bit, just to get it started again. So now that is done. Now see, I've got over here with me very finely chopped onions and tomatoes. Now I've taken one, because I'm cooking for one person. This is a one portion dish. So if you're cooking for more than one person, you please, if you're cooking for two, double it. If you're cooking for four, just take 4 times. Yeah, so I've got this, which is finely diced. Fish, be careful. Put that in. And once you start frying this, what you have to do is, once you start frying this, make sure to keep squishing it so that it starts becoming like a paste. Turn the heat up and clean as you go along. Very important. We don't want a messy kitchen. So keep cleaning as you go along. As you can see, I'm wiping down the oil, the onion and the tomato just spat a little bit, so I'm wiping it down. And I'm a bit of a OCD, please excuse me for that. But I think it's good to have a neat environment, clean environment, you feel nice. So keep wiping down, squish, squish, so that it starts frying off. Now it's very important to put the salt at the right time. Salt should be put in 2-3 stages when you're cooking. Once you get the hang of it, you'll know how to do it. Once we put this, we put a little bit of salt. Oh, I forgot to introduce my spice box. Every Indian household again will have one of these. So we keep it in sections in the box, if you can see. So I've got salt, I've got mustard seeds, I've got turmeric powder, I've got a mix of seeds which is called panchforan in the east of India. I'll tell you about this, it's fantastic. So I've got cumin powder, I've got coriander powder, cumin seeds, red chili powder. Just the basic masalas which we use in our daily cooking. So we are going to take a little bit of salt. As you can see, I'm not putting just a little bit, just to start the process. So what happens at this stage is, it starts leaving its moisture, because every vegetable has a lot of moisture. So once you put the salt in right now, it starts leaving a lot of moisture and fastens the cooking process. So you have to squish it around a little bit, press it down so that it becomes like a... See, now you can see that the oil has separated and the mixture is completely cooked. Now what we do is we put in all the veggies. So today I have taken cauliflower florets. Again, these are all uncooked because it's a one-pot meal. You needn't cook anything beforehand. And chopping, of course, you'll have to do. And if you want to grind something, we'll have to grind it beforehand and keep it handy. But otherwise, you really needn't cook anything, yeah? So this is cauliflower and potatoes I have diced. See, what I have done is I keep the potato in water. So whenever you're pre-prepping your potatoes, remember to keep it in water always. Because what happens is it has a lot of iron. Potatoes have a lot of iron and it tends to go black. So if you keep it out in the open without covering it with water. So cover it with water and keep it. I'm not going to put that water inside. So just take the potatoes. Put that. I have taken one medium-sized potato. Again, because I am cooking for one person, it's a one portion. So just keep multiplying your vegetables as you go along, as in how you... And feel free to use any vegetables. I am using whatever I had handy today. So if in case you don't have cauliflower, no problem. If you don't have, and these are carrots and beans. So I am putting that in. One small little carrot I took. And 4 to 5 strands of beans. Turn the heat up and we should fry these vegetables nicely. As you can see, what beautiful colors, no? So we fry. And this is very basic, very daily cooking which anybody can do. Don't feel that, oh, I've never cooked before and it looks complicated. It's not complicated at all. This is just, as you can see, just basic sauteing and frying, and that's about it. I'm not doing anything complicated to the food. Yeah, so now once the vegetables are nicely coated with the masala or with the onion and at this point, then now we put the ginger and garlic paste. Now again, ginger and garlic paste is something, store-bought is fine, feel free to use it, but if you make it at home, it is so much more better. I can't even begin to tell you. So what you do is, take equal amounts of ginger and garlic, peel it, wash it, dice it up and put it in a blender. Blend it. Once it's blended, now what you do is, if you have suppose a cup worth of that mixture, you take a cup worth of oil. Put it in a pan like this, put the oil. Before you start the heat, in cold oil, put the mixture. Start the heat, put it on low and keep frying. It will take you a good half an hour. Okay, let me tell you. But if you make that batch and if you keep it in your fridge, it doesn't get spoiled for a good 6 months. So you keep using it as you go along and it's much better, much better. It has no preservatives. It won't harm you. Ginger, garlic, again, they are very strong anti-inflammatories. They help you against bacterial infections. They build your immunity, and it's amazing. Ginger is and garlic are amazing spices. So please feel free to use it in as much of your food that you can. This is fresh mint leaves which I've just chopped up. Now we won't use the entire thing. We'll keep some for the garnishing later. So little bit at this point. Now at this point again what you do is put a little bit of salt. As I told you, it draws out the moisture from the veggies and it helps it cook better. Stir Following easily done, not complicated. I please urge all the young boys and girls who have, schools are not on now, and cooking is a life-saving skill, as I had said earlier. Please do these one-pot meals. So wherever you go out in the world, to your colleges, and if you're living alone, if you're in a job outside of your own homes, you're eating fresh food, you're eating good food, and it gives you a lot of satisfaction if you make your own food, eat it in peace, enjoy it. Will give you a lot of happiness. Yeah, so the vegetables are happening. They are just slightly cooking away, and at this point what we do is, I told you, this is homemade yogurt. So I make my yogurt at home. Very easy. Warm up the milk. And for starters, I'll tell you, if people don't make yogurt at home, just use a whole green chili with the stem. Remember, the stem is the most important part. So you use it with the stem. People are joining in. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you're enjoying the video. Uh-oh, sorry. Little bit of a problem. Give me a minute. I think it's done now. Okay, I won't say hi to anybody now, but please carry on watching. I might burn things or myself. I don't want that happening. Yes, a little bit you will have to for all this. Bear with me. I'm sorry, I'm alone at home, so I don't have help, So, okay, yogurt. Back to the yogurt. Yeah, so for starters, so with the stem, yeah, the green chili or the red chili that you're using should be with the stem. So you warm up the milk, put it in a bowl, a glass bowl, and put that red chili or green chili in. It should be with the stem, so that will act as a starter. And you put it in a warm place, you cover it and put it in a warm place. And within 24 hours, you'll see it will be nice and set like, a gel. And that's your yogurt. So store-bought is fine. Please go ahead and use it. I make my own curd, and I think it's the best probiotic on earth. It has life culture, which will digest everything. You will never get acidity. You will never get burning, of the throat or of your stomach when you're eating any kind of food. So once a day, I feel lactose intolerant people to a certain extent can tolerate yogurt. So just give it a try. I think homemade should suit. So I whisk this so that there are no lumps. And at this point, what I'm going to do is now add this to the veggies. A trick when you're using curd in any of your cooking, remember that you have to keep constantly stirring it in one direction. One direction. So if you're going clockwise, keep going clockwise and don't stop. Keep stirring it. Slowly but surely keep stirring. Otherwise it has a tendency to split and you don't want that. So you want the food to become creamy and not mucky. So let's pour that in little bit at a time. See, keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring. Everything back in its place. Clockwise. I started clockwise. I'm going to do clockwise. Keep stirring. And it's amalgamated. So this we'll keep back. We don't need it. That much was enough. Once that is done, so now we use the biryani masala, the magic ingredient. So we won't use, we'll need 1 teaspoon worth for the entire recipe, but at the moment I'm just going to put half, because half we put later. I'll tell you when. So we put half now, yeah, and keep this aside. We'll use the half spoon later. Mix, and immediately you will get that beautiful aroma of the biryani. Beautiful. It is fantastic. Oh, and now I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you about when you have to use the meat. So now once, the moment we put the vegetables in is the time you put your meat in. So if you're putting your meat in, go ahead and put it when, at the stage when we put up vegetables, and then follow the same process. The meat should be nice and cooked. Remember to dice it in small pieces or shred it or use strips so that it can cook easily in one pan. If you have very big chunks, they'll stay raw, because this won't take too much time to cook. Okay, so now because it is a rice dish, of course, we need rice. Ta-da, here it is. And what I have done with this is I have used basmati. Basmati is a long grain rice, very readily available in India and everywhere in the world. Use that. For biryani, I recommend you to use this, but of course, if you don't want to use basmati, you can use any kind of rice that you prefer, but it comes out best with basmati rice. Yeah. What I did was I rinsed it under running water for a good 5 minutes, gave it a nice wash. So all the chemicals that are on the rice, they all rinse off, and then you soak it. Minimum for half an hour, you soak it in normal cold water, tap water, at least for half an hour, and that is the minimum. And you can soak it for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, it doesn't really matter after that, but half an hour is minimum. So this is soaked rice, and as you can see, it's all drunk up on the rice and become nice and long. So this is what we want. So now what we do is we go ahead and put all the rice into the mixture. Once all the rice is there, there you go, done. Not to waste even a grain. Oops, last grain. Okay, so that is done. Now you mix it well. Make sure you use very light hands. Be very, very gentle, because soaked rice has a tendency to break. We don't want it. We want those long, beautiful grains when you open up the biryani to eat it. So be very careful, be very gentle. Toss it around very carefully and very gently. So once that is done, see, make sure not breaking anything. So this is what it looks like. Now the number one rule with rice, and when you're making it like this in one pot, is see the amount of rice. So if you've taken half a cup of rice, you take 1 cup of water. Okay, so double the amount of water. And if you're taking 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. And if you have meat and veggies which need to be cooked like so in one pan, you add a dash more, meaning 1/4 more. So today I've taken 1 cup of 3/4 cup of rice. So I'm going to take 1 and 1/4 cup of this cup of water. So now in this, first what we do is, again, the little bit mint that we had left over, we'll put that. The onions that we had fried, we'll put a few now, a few we'll keep back for later for garnishing. Okay, so that is done. The little bit yogurt that was left, we can put it right now, finish it off, because it needs a little more creaminess, I thought, and I'm in no mood to use a lot of cream, and not to make it heavy. At least in India we have summers approaching and we don't want anything heavy at night. Now the last bit of salt goes in. Now as per taste, please go ahead and put as much as you think is required. So that is done. Now if you want it spicy, because my family likes a little bit of spicy food, so I have not mentioned it in the ingredients. So what I do is put a little bit of red chili powder. So you can avoid this completely, because remember, your biryani masala does have pepper. So it will give it that little zing, but my family likes the food a little spicy. So I am putting in the red chili powder at this point, giving it a toss so that the yogurt and everything is mixed well again. So once that is done, now I told you to just 1/4 cup of milk infused with 2 or 3 strands of saffron. Very important. You really need it in this, and it gives you a beautiful, beautiful biryani, authentic and lovely and fragrant. Go ahead and put that. So that is done. And the water that I spoke about. So this is going in now. The entire water goes in. Turn the gas up to a high and mix everything very lightly again, making sure nothing breaks. The rice we want intact. Okay, so just pressing down everything from all the corners, mixing everything. And the trick to this is, see, I'll just show you. I'll tilt this pan a little bit and show it to you. The rice is almost covered with the liquid. Can you see? And it's just peeking out little bit though, you know. So that is what we want. So now that it starts coming to a furious boil, you have to wait for that. So once that starts happening, the biryani masala that we had kept back to use later, quarter teaspoon, we take that, you sprinkle all around little bit. It's coming to a boil now, nicely. That is done. See, as you can see, nicely boiled, boiling away. Rest of the onions, the fried onions, just sprinkle on top little bit. That being done, we go to the rest of the mint leaves. Yeah, so put the mint leaves. Now once this starts boiling nicely, yeah, which it is now, we turn the gas to a absolute low, as low as it can go. Put the lid, and this is going to simmer away now for at least 10 minutes. Okay, so that everything inside cooks, and it cooks together and it cooks beautifully. I'll show you. So we put that on a back burner. Let me just switch this on. So we put this on the back burner, let it simmer away, and then I'll show you what happens to this. So not to touch it, not to open the lid. Okay, so that will take around 10 minutes. Just a quick cleanup. As I told you, please do so that we are not messy. Don't want anything messing up. Okay, so now we are done. Now to go along with this, you can chop up a few, make a light salad with it if you want. Though I recommend not to eat a lot of raw food at this time. We need to cook our food, and otherwise also it's best avoided at night. So try and lightly cook your food. But if you would like to, you could just chop up a few onions and tomatoes and put a little bit of lime juice and salt on it. Goes well. And also we can make a quick drink, and this is my glass which cannot stand up straight, and I love this glass. Okay, so here we have my glass, and today we are going to make a probiotic drink with the yogurt that I spoke about earlier. That's the yogurt. As you can see, this is called chas in India, which is a very light drink, and it goes very well with biryani. So what we do is we take the yogurt, we put a little bit of salt, just a little bit of cumin powder. Now the cumin powder that we use normally is not raw cumin powder, so you lightly toast it the way I told you to with the rest of the spices for the biryani masala. So you lightly toast it in a dry pan, and it becomes nice and aromatic. You needn't brown it too much, because the seeds, if you can see, if I can just show you, they are already a little brown. So if you brown it too much, again it starts becoming bitter. So make sure it's not browning, you know, it's just the moment it starts leaving its oil, you will get the smell, and it's beautiful. So once that is done, you just turn the heat off, let it cool down, and you just grind it into a powder. And again, it can be stored for days, on months on end. Actually, nothing happens to it. So that is the cumin powder, and cumin is amazing for digestion. Anybody with any kind of IBS, IBD, see, I make recipes which are very good for these kind of people. I have a very close relative in my family who has acute IBD, and this is how my passion started of making these recipes. Every recipe that I'm showing you is very, very good for the IBD, IBS patients. Of course, each to their own. There are things that certain people cannot digest and certain people can. So that you are the best person to take a call. But mostly I recommend that one fermented, any kind of fermented food, be it a kimchi, which is from the Thai region, which is again fermented cabbage or fermented seafood. They put prawns in that. You needn't do that. You can just make it with cabbage. That is very good. In India, we eat a lot of achar. Inculcate, please adopt these habits again. Whatever, grandparents or parents have been eating all these years is very, very good for us. Processed food, please stay away. So it's been Sorry, yeah. So home cooked food is the best. So it's been 5 minutes now. Now we turn off the heat completely. Do not touch the lid. Let it be covered. Let it, what happens is when it's covered and kept like that for at least 5 to 7 minutes, the food, the grains of the rice will absorb all the flavors. Rice has no flavor on its own really, so what it does is it absorbs all the flavor. It will absorb all the spices, the flavors of the vegetables amalgamate with the entire dish. Everything, kinds of gets married to each other, and it will taste better. So don't touch the lid. Let it be as it is for at least 7 to 10 minutes, and you can keep it as it is for an hour also. Nothing else. So you eat it for dinner later, you needn't do anything to it. Just let it be like that, and the residual heat of the pan will keep on cooking whatever is left of it. If the vegetables are a little crunchy still, that it will keep cooking in its own heat. Okay, so back to the drink. This is what we call chas. So salt, cumin seeds, roasted cumin seeds, we powder it and we make the cumin powder out of that. So we use that. And now if you want to use ice, go ahead, use ice. I normally don't like to have anything which is very cold, but otherwise you can just top it up with ice, like 4, 5, 6 cubes, 10 cubes, whatever. And then cold water, that is one thing which this needs. You can't have it room temperature. You can, it doesn't taste that good, so I recommend little cold water. That goes in. Make it nice and thin. You don't want it gluggy and so now you stir, and I'll just keep this aside and I'll show you what else I'm going to put in this. So it's going to elevate it to another level altogether. So I have again a lot of fresh mint and fresh coriander or cilantro, as the world calls it. We get in India and we use it in everything. So here I have it chopped, finely chopped. So what I'm going to do is now, another thing that all Indian households have is a mortar and pestle. We cannot operate without it. So we put a bit of the leaves in it and we start pounding it like there's no tomorrow. So pound, pound, pound. Oh, I'm getting my exercise so that I can eat all the carbs. Oh, and yeah, one more theory that I want to really break the myth about is, please don't say that I can't eat rice at night. It's very good to eat rice at night. Please go ahead and eat rice at night. It is easy to digest and it keeps you full for a bit, So what happens is, people who want to eat, I'm going to eat a very light dinner today, I'm going to only have soup. Please, by all means, go ahead, have a soup. But have a hearty soup. If you're going to have a watery soup, what happens is you have your dinner by 8 and by 11:30, 12 you're hungry again, and then you binge and then you eat all kinds of things which are not to be eaten at that time. We go in for cookies, we go in for brownies, and we go in for, all kinds of processed food, chips, and that is not very good. So eat a hearty meal at night, and rice is one of the best grains to consume at night. It's a myth. Nobody puts on weight with rice. Please, it's a myth. Please, let's break it once and for all. My husband is almost 5'10", and he is barely 65 kgs and lean and thin, and he has and fit, and we are at that age where people say, I can't do that much of physical activity, but he runs 10 kilometers every day and he has rice thrice a day. If I give him rice to eat, he'll eat rice. So rice is, please don't shy away from rice. It's a good grain. It's a nice grain, and please do consume it. Of course, nothing wrong with wheat. I love wheat. I have my chapatis and rotis and everything, but there's nothing wrong with rice. Let's not treat it badly, And there are so many people who say, oh no, rice at night, I'll put on weight. No, please, it's a myth. Don't do that. Don't do that to rice. So now that we've pounded the life out of, our mint and coriander in a mortar and pestle, we take that out. So this is what it looks like. Just a bit, because we don't want it becoming, if you take too much and put it in the chas, it becomes bitter. So there's a balance, strike a balance with everything and everything tastes good. So there, little bit of that. Mix, 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 mix. Ooh, little shower, all green and nice. How pretty it's looking. Nice? Yeah, so we keep that here. Keep it in the fridge till the time it's consumed. And now, the time of truth. Mr. Pan is back. So let's see what we've done to the biryani. Touch wood. Okay. Ta-da! Ooh, there. Perfect biryani. Can you see how beautiful it's looking? So, the grains are all fluffy. If you can see, the grains are all fluffy and it's all done. How nice. The veggies are all cooked. And how beautiful. And oh, I wish I could share this smell with you. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, I'm not saying it because I'm cooking it. Believe me. It's delicious. So now, let's plate it up. Okay. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, black. So hi, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, so that's my plate. And that, my friends, is the beautiful biryani. Yes. Hello. This is going to make me really happy tonight. Little bit of the mint and coriander. And I'm getting greedy. So a little taste for the chef. Please taste your food before you serve it to others. A chef who cannot eat his own food, there is a problem then. So let's not do that. Can I taste? Hot, hot, hot. Let me not burn myself. Need I say more? It's really nice. Let's try this. Please try it tonight. I urge you to try it tonight. And if you like the recipes, if you feel that I've done a good job, please do join me again tomorrow. And we'll cook up another one-pot recipe and it'll be fun. I promise you, I won't let you down. Please do join me tomorrow. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.